Dales. For the last 15 years, this gorgeous landscape has been the canvas that my family's life has been painted on. And whilst so many of our adventures start in the car, our favourite way to explore this gorgeous part of the world is on foot. There is nothing quite like walking the Yorkshire Dales. From its rolling hills to its beautiful forests and picturesque villages. In this series, you're going to join us on 7 wonderful walks. Some we know well, but others are brand new to us. Along the way, we'll take in some breathtaking views, and using my famous map reading skills, we might just learn a thing or two. But where are we going today? Folks, I literally cannot believe it. We're heading out for our penultimate walk of the series. And with that in mind, I'd like to welcome you to it's my favourite town in all of the Yorkshire Dales. This is Langthwaite. Now I've got to say, I'm a little bit apprehensive as we set out on our walk today because this is a walk and a half. It's actually our last episode before our Christmas special in December, and we wanted to try and encapsulate everything that we love about the Yorkshire Dales in one epic walk. So we've got gorgeous rivers, some lovely towns and villages, a manor house owned by the Duke of Norfolk, the steepest climbs we've attempted all series, loads of sheepfolds, potentially some disused mine shafts. My goodness, what a walk we've got in store. Just take a look at this. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Neil, this landscape may look familiar to you because All Creatures Great and Small, the original series of All Creatures Great and Small, was filmed here, but it was also used for a Walt Disney film in the 70s, and lots of other TV shows have been here over the years, and that's because this is proper Yorkshire Dales country. Now, one of the things that I love about England is the place names. There's some amazing places with the most fascinating of names, but today I think we're going to visit somewhere which has the best naming that I've seen anywhere in my journeys across England, and that is the rather lovely and wonderfully named hamlet of Booze. Yes, we will be taking that in later on our walk. But what's so interesting about this place, about Langthwaite, is I've been here loads of times. We've gone for lots of little walks into the village, and we've been into the village pub and had a cup of tea, but I've never actually been for a proper explore. So to say I'm excited is an absolute understatement. So without further ado, I think it's time that I got my hat on and we set out for another walk in the Dales. Lovely chickens. So I mentioned All Creatures Great and Small was filmed here. Well, get ready for one of the most iconic images used in the intro to every one of those great TV episodes. It's coming up right here. And over the bridge we find what lies at the heart of so many Dales communities, the village pub. We're actually back in Arkengarthdale. It's our favourite of all the Dales, and so we're delighted to return for one final walk this series. Now, today's walk is going to have quite a few settlements on it, and the first of which was Langthwaite. But it's actually passed in just a moment as we pick up the path along what is today a bubbling and broiling Arkle Beck. We're actually coming up now on the second settlement of today's walk, and I think there's a little footbridge. I'm hoping it's actually in place because this river is really big. But yeah, hopefully there's a little footbridge that we can have a little rest and check out the next settlement on today's trail. So in the 9th century, the whole of Arkengarthdale would have been a hotbed of Viking activity. And if you want an idea on what life might have been like, I'm told that the series Vikings, which I think is on the History Channel, offers a superb depiction of Viking life at pretty much the time that all these settlements were founded here in Arkengarthdale. What we're seeing today, though, and what we're going to see lots more of now as we start to climb up Slei Gill, are remnants of the lead mining industry, which we've already learnt so much about in this series already. You can see I'm starting the climb. The cowl is off, as are my lovely gloves. And this is just the beginning. I think once I get in the swing of it, we'll be okay. But we're effectively climbing a mountain today because we're going to be going over 1,000 foot, which I think, I recall, anything over 1,000 foot is a mountain. But onward and upward, folks, literally today. Now then, as many of you may remember, way back in episode 1 of Walking the Dales, which we actually did just over the other side of this dale, I mentioned that the way I navigate my way through this amazing countryside is using the Ordnance Survey maps. And they're just tremendous because they clearly mark public rights of way, and they even have fences in, so you know we're going to have to cross a stile. But what they also do is, along the way, they mark interesting points, so you know what to look out for. And we're coming up on one of those interesting points right now, and it's something that I've wanted to see for years. Hello, sheep. What a place Langthwaite Hall must have been when it was built back in the time of Henry VIII. It feels remote today, so back then it must have been in a whole world of its own. But we're going to leave civilization behind us now as we start to make our way up what's called the Slei Gill. We're going to be walking through lots of remnants of that lead mining industry, from disused shafts and spoil heaps, and we might even see some wheelhouses along the way, but I think there might be a path closure up here, so we might have to take a bit of a diversion, but we'll see how we get on. Either way, this is proper Dales wilderness. It's marvellous. If you'd been around here in the 18th century, this would have been an absolute hive of activity. There would have been miners coming and going from their homes in Arkengarthdale and Langthwaite. They would have been coming up here, up Slei Gill, to undertake another shift down one of the lead mines. It's a little bit different today, isn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, we have climbed to the top of Slei Gill. You can actually see behind me Slei Gill House, which was it was a boarding house basically for miners. So if they were up here doing some particularly long shifts and they needed a place to bed down, that was the place where they used to do it. We can't actually get to it today because some of the pathways are shut and there's been quite a lot of flood damage, so that is as close, unfortunately, as we can get. But what an outstanding place this is. I mean, the views are just breathtaking and literally from every direction. Sadly, it's a little bit too windy for Kevin to fly. I mean, it's more than a little bit windy, it's absolutely blowing a gale, but just take a look at these views. What a walk this has been already, goodness me. And there's still so much to come. Booze, anyone? I could do with some booze. As I walk along this gorgeous Arkengarthdale track, I can't help but look up, because there over on the horizon is a ridge which dominates the whole of Arkengarthdale. And so we make it to the final settlement on today's walk. In the most unlikely of places lies the Dales hamlet of Booze.
And would you believe this fairly insignificant of places has had its fair share of national media? It all started about 10 years ago when the post office, the people who deliver the post in this country, decided that the road up to Booze was just too precipitous. So they said they weren't going to come up anymore. So everyone who lived up here wasn't going to get any post. There was an absolute national uproar. It was on TVAM, which is TVAM, I'm harking back now, that's our morning television news. I think it was on Good Morning Britain. It was all over the place, and the papers picked up on it. And of course, then the post office backtracked and said that they would. But then it was followed up by a council tax sort of disaster, in that the council decided every year, the council tax is what we pay in the UK for people to come and collect our bins and for amenities and all those different things that the council upkeep. Well, the council decided here that they were going to increase it. Now, that's fairly normal. That does happen most years for everyone. But they don't normally look to increase it by 400%. So there was another national outcry. It was in the papers again, and once again the council backtracked. A lot of national media for such a small place. There's disused mine shafts all over the place here. Don't worry, I'm completely safe. It's a Yorkshire Dales national path, so, you know, they'll all be filled in and secure. So this could well have been a wheelhouse. I don't know. But our final destination is across here. And look, there's Langthwaite where we started. So we are making it just across Langthwaite Scar. Now, Langthwaite Scar actually gives its name to our final destination today. We're heading to the home of the man who owned all the mines, pretty much all the mines in Arkengarthdale. We've obviously looked an awful lot, really throughout the series, at the mines and also the people who worked in the mines. But what about the guy who was their boss? Well, he built a house and he called it Scar House, and he built it just a short walk through a lovely wood, I'm told, at the end of Langthwaite Scar. Let's go see if we can find it. This feels extremely grand. It's such a difference to Langthwaite Scar and the landscape which we've already walked through so far on this amazing trail. The reason why it feels so different is 900 years ago, this was a royal forest. The animals that were hunted here, and I've seen a deer already, the animals that were hunted here would have appeared on the tables of the finest in the land, and it was here that the man who owned all of the mines in Arkengarthdale decided to build his home. His name was Gilpin Brown, and the house he built was called Scar House, after Langthwaite Scar that we've just walked across. And it's just up here. I think what I've loved the most about this walk is the contrasts. It really is a gorgeous place. It has a very special feel to it. And it's a wonderful way to finish this penultimate of all our walks this series. Yes, I will be back, but it won't be until Christmas. We've got to have a Christmas walk, haven't we? And it's going to be a very special Christmas walk because it's one with a lot of deep family connections for me. But for now, thank you so much for joining me on this just most epic of walks, and I'll see you soon for more Walking the Dales.